Hello everyone, myself I am Marlene Joyce, currently working as an assistant professor of Vigyan Foundation for Science, Technology and Research. So, in today's class we are going to discuss about the continuation of the previous class, nothing but in previous class we have seen about introduction to databases, right? So, in previous class you learned how to represent the data. So, we are discussing database management system keys. We will start the session what is the importance of the keys and what are the types of the keys and why we exactly need the keys. So, what is the functionality of a keys? First thing you have to understand, it is used to create the relationship between two tables. That means if you want to represent or if you want to store any data in the database, you have to store in the form of a tabular format you are saying. So, tabular format means nothing but in a relational format you are saying. For example, I am saying I am taking 3 columns. In this 3 columns, I am writing student ID. Next one, student name I am writing and branch I am writing. Branch I am writing. So, total 3 columns I have taken. In this 3 columns I am writing student ID, student name and branch I am writing. So, how you are storing the data in the form of a tabular format and how you are establishing the relationship between two tables. That means if you have the same table as second table, then how you are establishing the relationship will be understood with the help of learning the keys. Second one, to maintain the uniqueness in a table. What is the meaning of an uniqueness? You have already seen file system versus database, right? In file system, if you want to extract something, obviously you have to know you have to search for the particular document. But in case of the relational table or databases, you are extracting the data with the help of an unique command called as an keys. That means by writing one particular command, you are extracting the data from a table. That is the meaning of the second point. Third one, to keep consistent and valid data in a database. What is the meaning of consistent and valid data in a database? For example, if you observe this table, in the first one, student ID is 1 and 2. 2 data you are having. Student name is A. Student branch is CSC. So, here again the student name is A and branch is CSC. If you observe the data, here the same student name is repeated and the same student branch is repeated. So, that means in order to avoid or in order to delete this kind of repetition, we are making use of an database keys. That is the meaning of maintaining the consistent and valid data in the database. Types of keys in a database. So, based upon its functionalities, the keys are again classified into primary key, candidate key, alternate key, super key and composite key you are saying. Now, we will see how these keys works and what is the need of having these keys. So, first key is primary key. What is the meaning of a primary key means? Whenever you are taking the table, so in that table, the column or else the entity which uniquely identifies. What does it mean? Means it is an attribute or set of attributes that uniquely identifies. What is the meaning of an attributes? We will see in the example. Next one, here primary key consists of few properties. What are those properties means? First property is it should not have null values. What is the meaning of a null values? That means empty values it should not have. That is the meaning of a null value. Each primary key should not have an empty value in a table. That means in a table if you consider, you should not have any missing value in a table. If you are having missing value, then we are saying it as not a primary key. Second one, the value must be unique for each instance of an entity. What is the meaning of an unique? Whenever you are saying the word unique, nothing but different from others. So you are having set of apples. So in that set of apples, if you add one orange, so obviously among set of apples, orange will be unique because it is a different fruit. So similarly here also, every entity should consist of a unique value. Next one, the value must not change or become null during the life of each entity existent. That means whenever you are start writing the table, at that time the primary key value is something, for suppose 10 you are having. Over a period of time, if at all the 10 value is changing 0, then also we are saying the primary key is not applicable for such kind of entities. So if you observe the table, here you can easily understand things. First property is primary key should not have null values. If you observe the table, have you found any of the empty values here? No, right? So the first property is validated. So second property, so the key which is uniquely identifying the whole table, then we are saying it as primary key. So if you observe this table, here you are having student ID, first name, last name and course ID. So altogether called as an entities. Altogether called as an entities. That means the headings of your table will be called as an entities. So what is this table? In this table you are having student ID, first name, last name and course ID, right? So I am saying student ID as a primary key because it is having unique value. If you observe your ID cards, so in your ID cards your registration number will be present, right? Each and every person will have unique registration number. That is the reason we are saying it as an primary key. So here first name and last name and course ID. Why those are not called as an primary keys means first name, if at all here there is a gym, right? So two person or more than two person in a class may have the same name. So how can you say it is used for uniquely identifying? You cannot say it, right? That is the reason first name and last name are not primary key. So what about the course ID? So two people are in a section. If you consider all the students will be registered under one course you are saying. So for the same course you will be having same course ID. That is the reason it is also not considered as a primary key. So this is about the primary key. The key or the entity which uniquely identifies the whole particular row will be called as an primary key. So this particular key identifies the name of identifies the details of the gym, black and so on, right? Next one, what is the meaning of a foreign key? Next key is foreign key. So in previous keys you have seen about primary key, right? So what is the meaning of a foreign key means? Here one very important thing you have to understand is it is used to link two tables together. What is the meaning here? In previous key, primary key, you showed relation or you identified the relation only in one table, but here you are connecting two tables, you are connecting. That means two tables you are uniquely identifying, right? How we are uniquely identifying two tables? With the help of an foreign key. So here in case of foreign key, it is a collection of fields in one table that refers to the primary key in the other table. That means you are having two tables, and in those two tables you are having two primary keys you are having. So this foreign key establishment is only possible when both the tables are having primary keys. Next one, it is the table containing the foreign key is called as an child table. That means from whom you are referencing will be called as an child table you are saying. So if you observe here, you are having one is person table and another one is order table you are having. So if you understand very clearly, so take some time and identify which one is primary key in both the table. So in both the table, here if you consider the first table, person ID will be called as an unique because it won't have repetition. As well, it is used for uniquely identifying the complete row. So 2 is used in order to identify the details of Svensson, right? So 1 is used for identifying the details of Hansen and 3 is used for identifying the details of Peterson. So that is the reason person ID will be called as an primary key. So what is the meaning of a foreign key then? So we are saying we are establishing the relationship between two tables, right? So establishing the relationship between two tables means we are using the primary key of first table. Nothing but this is first table and this is second table you are saying. So whenever you are establishing the relationship between first table and second table, you are using the primary key. You are using the primary key of the first table in the second table. Here you are taking person ID, right? That means you are referencing to the primary key. You are referencing to the primary key of the first table in the second table. So this person ID will be called as an foreign key. So what is the need of using like this means? So here two tables are having two different information, right? So here you are having person's detail, here you are having order table, order ID and order number, right? So instead of writing all these details, instead of writing person ID, last name, first name and age, you are only using person ID in the second table. That is the reason you are using the foreign key. So two principles you have to understand. One is establishing the relationship between two tables, as well to uniquely identify the other table data in second table. So here this table will be called as an child table because it is making use of an first table's primary key. It is a set of attributes whose set of values can uniquely identify an entity instant in the entity set. What does it mean? We will see much in details. So one more thing you have to remember, it contains more than one attributes. So more than one attributes means nothing but here you are having more than one combinations you are having. So if you observe the super key, here you are having a table. So ID, obviously we are saying ID as an primary key you are saying, right? So what is the meaning of a super key? Whenever you are forming the combination along with the combination along with the primary key, then we are calling it as super key. And one more thing you have to understand, you can have any number of combinations, right? Here if you consider ID is a primary key, with ID I am having name. So this is one super key. Second super key is ID plus age. ID plus age. Third super key is ID plus phone. ID plus phone. Fourth super key is ID plus name plus age. And another one is ID plus name plus phone. So if you consider these and all are also called as super keys. Why we are saying it as super keys means, so to uniquely identify a particular row, or to uniquely identify a particular row, you are making use of a primary key, right? So what is the functionality of a super key? To uniquely identify a column. Column means in this way you are saying it as a column. To uniquely identify the column, you are making use of a super key. So the combination of primary key along with another key, is called as an super key. So you can have multiple super keys. Next one. So in case of an candidate key. So understand very clearly, it is a very easy concept. What is candidate key means? It is a set of one or more attribute whose set of values can uniquely identify. In very short way, if you understand, in a table you are having a primary key, right? So primary key is used for uniquely identifying the data. So if a table consists of more than two primary keys or two or more primary keys, then we are saying it as an candidate key. So what are the properties of a candidate key? These are the properties. Entity sets have only one candidate key. That means the combinations we are saying it as the set of combinations we are saying it as one candidate key. So if you observe here, what are called as candidate keys? ID and phone will be called as candidate keys. For example, ID and phone. Consider two students. So if you consider two students, the ID details and phone number will be very unique, right? So obviously the uniquely identified attributes here are ID as well phone number, right? That is the reason we are saying the combination of ID and phone number together as candidate key. So can you observe in your day-to-day life, if you observe the same table, if I am taking Aadhaar ID, so in the Aadhaar ID, each and every person will have unique value, right? That is the reason Aadhaar ID and your ID and phone number together called as an candidate key. That means if a table or if a relation is having more than two primary keys, then those primary keys together called as an candidate key. Next one is alternate key. You have learned about primary key, super key, composite key, candidate key, right? So the keys other than the primary keys are called as an alternate keys. Here you are having a table, roll number, student table. Here you are having roll number. So the roll number is called as an primary key you are saying. Alternate key means name, branch, city. If you are having another one like college and so on you are having, then all those together will be called as an alternate keys. That means the keys other than the primary key is called as an alternate keys. So this is all about the keys, and you have to learn what is the functionality of an each key. Thank you.